Welcome to my channel. It's good to have you here. My name is Gemma. I am an advanced course criminologist and mother of two. So in this one I'm going to talk about how you don't allow people to heal you, take your pain, don't allow that, especially black magicians. Woo, don't do it. Right, just don't do it, right? You've got black magicians out there who might claim to have some sort of way to heal, but you just need to do it with the mind. Okay, so obviously everything's mind first. You need to really go into the mind first and then analyze it through yourself through talking therapies. Don't use occults to sort of be a way out of healing, because it can be especially when it pertains to black magicians, things like this. Usually what they do is they program it, right? So be careful, right? So let's get into this. Let's talk about PsyOps. So there is a new tech out there. I think Elon Musk said the other night about how it was going to be we can put our minds to a hive, a program, right? Well, they've been doing it anyway. Okay, this is how they've been doing it. They lock you in, and lock you out of programs, the PsyOps, right? So this is how you can understand how a PsyOp will work. Okay, so I'm not saying it's necessarily true. I'm just speculating. If it was true, this is how it would be. Okay, this is also a connotation to understanding this, because it's in a programmable state and it's like this. So it's almost like you have spheres. They're different spheres, okay? And it could be anything, and they just put you in them, right? And that's how it is, right? It's animalistic. If it's in the lower spheres, well, in the inversions, especially in the inversions, they're definitely animalistic. But if they're in the this is how it usually will come out. But they're spheric, inverted PsyOps. So this is like what I've been talking about like spiritual comas, and all that stuff, right? This is what the PsyOP is about. It's spiritual programming. It's a PsyOP, okay? So obviously there's different types of PsyOps. You can get PsyOps that like run out. People claim that certain things are PsyOps, they're not true. Like events and stuff that happen in society, that they're not necessarily true. But then but there's a truth in a PsyOP, in a psychological underpinning. Okay, so the PsyOps, maybe this is an example on the news. If something isn't real and it might be seen as a PsyOP, right? You have to understand this as it's more rather a psychological PsyOP. So if it's a fake event, I'm not saying that any are. If that is, for example, if it was a fake event, it's to turn your mind. It's to inject an element of fear, or an element of distraction, fear, or protagonism. Okay. So this is usually how spiritual PsyOps can take place. Okay, and this is kind of like where I go to the functional understanding that it's not necessarily real. Okay, it's just a mind altering experience to try and alter your mind. Okay, so this is why a PsyOP usually takes place. Right, so we've done the PsyOps, what they are, how they can take place. So you get people who sing about this stuff, clones, people who talk about it. It's an experience to behold. And I think what they've done is they speak about it to bring awareness of it. Okay, so you bring in an awareness of it over anything else. And I think this is why people do talk about it. And I guess, when we're sitting at a understanding, when we're trying to rise to an understanding, we do talk about it prior. Okay, it's all speculative, isn't it? Until we rise. Effing speculative until we rise. Okay, in everything. So PsyOps, like, usually are the ones that create a gauge narrative in society for us to take a position, to behold a position. Now, this could be anything from an opinion to a change of life completely, right? So it depends how they want to PsyOP you, what they want to do to you and stuff like this. So basically that's how that happens. This can sort of obviously interfere with like monitoring spirits, how they can inject aspects of fear onto us, the black screens, the white screens, the blue screens. And also I'd like to say as well is that there's more, because there always is more, okay? This is just this is a psychological underpinning of how hypnosis can take place. This is also a PsyOP, okay? So there's many PsyOPs that can be taken into consideration, okay, when we're talking about this. There's many and it's vast, okay? And they are inversions, okay? They're inversions to the Sirius energy, okay? So that's an inverted space. So Sirius is obviously there, but then there's going to be an inverted energy there, right? Which is really doing my head in. So why is it important to know this stuff? Why is it important to know this specifically? And it's because it's part of the underpinning of a psyopic program, okay? This is the way it is, right? You get your feels and your emotions and your love. This is your basic functions. This is what you need to survive. You as a human. Rise when I do. After feeling all these things, I know I do make a decision. Now reach an ideal energy of encapsulating all our feels, our emotions, and our love to an ideal. It should be simple for us to rise from that space. If you don't know what's going on, you don't have a position there in the first place. So it's kind of like not your position to take. This is the reality as well. And if it is a corrupted means to invert as an aspect to corrupt when it's not a truth, then no one's rising, mate. All your cheeks are chopped down. No one's rising. No one's going to understand. No one's ever going to realise what's going on until somebody comes along and actually sees it as what it is. Okay, which is probably, a PsyOP. This is a reference to what I'm talking about now. But PsyOPs can, you'll be able to know. You'll be able to tell. Okay? You can tell if it is or not. You can question it as well. And you also always have to put your morality in check. Is this person really like that? Is that person really going to do that? Is his head chopped off walking around? What's going on with Joe Bloggs over there? Does he need his head stitching back on? I don't know. It's flat S. PsyOP, the nightmares or dreams even. You can have this. Okay, this is how you can understand PsyOPs as well. There's like a dream analysis. And it depends if you're hooked in or not. Because you can be hooked into a programmable state under these spheres. Right? This is very different. I'm coming to you very differently with this understanding because this is how it rises. This is how you understand your rise. Where are you? Okay? You can be in inverted states there or you can be in inversions. Okay? And if people want to drag you to the inversions, it's because that's what kind of realm that they want to create on this plane. Or that's what they want to create for you. So if you end up being pushed into inversions, it's because they're trying to corrupt you. Okay? So if you end up in the inverted states, as I'm saying, they want to corrupt you, okay, as a human being. Right? You're a chosen one. What for? Corruption. That's what for. Because somebody comes for change and call for it and they don't like it. They have to do stuff to you to stop you from rising to your positions. Angels. Because they know who we are. Right? And, they make us fight in all sorts. So we don't come together and unite. That's kind of like, because scared of us. That's reality as well. But angels scared of us. Scared of us because we can change a narrative and state of society. It's comforting, right? For us to be here. Right? Because we are trying to express what's going on around here. It gives people a level footing. Instead of you just taking everything, take advantage of everything and leaving us all in what city? In death rituals. It's not fair, is it? Right? The PsyOP's going on. And they're in all of them. It's on purpose. Okay? And it's a mind-altering experience and it's spiritual. And it's come out a lot of things since the G Towers. in 2020. So let's be realistic. You know, there's PsyOP taking place. You know, whatever they will, they will. You know, if they want to take advantage of children, if they want to take advantage of mothers, if they want to take advantage of fathers, they'll do it for a PsyOP, right? So that people might have been in mental homes, mental institutions, you know, they might not be in good places, and it's because of this, right? I speak about it because people need to know that in this reality, there are other ones to behold, right? Some more always talk about it, not bothered, right? It's the reality that we all need to sort of like observe, understand, be aware. Don't get involved in it, right? Don't get involved in it. Don't get involved in the programs. Don't get involved in this, okay? Because it's a spectacle, okay, for the higher classes, right? So obviously I'm in it, so I have to go in it, right? I'm in the system, right? Gemma, Google, I'm in the system, right? So I'm in, right? I'm in. Right? So they did this is it, isn't it? Why would we want to create as well minds on a hive computer? Why would you want that? Why would you print someone's consciousness onto a plain computer? I think I watched something about this years ago, trying to take over your world. It's because he's missing something. His art, right? They missed the art of the world. You're forgetting that one little thing, aren't you? That little insignificant thing that no one really understands because they try to rip it from you, right? Or they take it, what they want, they rip the heart. They take the heart of the world, they steal it. For what? Well, it's not generosity and kindness, is it? It's corruption and destruction of lands, people, lives, families, right? So, you know, PsyOps can mean anything. PsyOp can just mean, oh yeah, it's an aspect of understanding an idea to acquire knowledge. Because you can stand away from that. You might understand something in a sphere. God knows how, but you might understand something in a sphere. Something bad might happen. It's not real, and you're like, hang on a minute, it's not real. But then something happens, and it's like, oh, this is kind of making it make sense, or you might generate an idea from this. And this is just for my children. It's for my children's children. It's for mine, yeah. And you guys, if you're listening, you know, it's a PsyOp, okay? So this is like a PsyOpic energy. If you don't see the original, then you'll never know a truth. If you just see what's going on, that ain't the truth, mate. That's a program. It's a program space and time, okay? And this is kind of like how you should see it. So that your minds can still develop children. So yeah, I think some things are spiritual too. So I think that, you know, spirituality is real. I think programs are real too, and I think this is kind of how like it can get the wires crossed between spirituality and programmable states. Okay, so I do think that spirituality is real. Okay, and it overrides the programs in the end, right? And I think this is kind of like what's taking place, and it's a fight between spirituality and programmable states, and that's my honest truth. I mean, I think some things, like for example, some old spiritual texts will say ancestors are like goes back in your lineage, but I don't think that's true. I think that they pick on people with their surnames. I think that, you know, if you have a surname or something and you were found, I think this is why people hid their names and surnames and stuff like this. They changed their surnames so they could never be found. Okay, a lot of women did this. A lot of women do this. And if you notice that we always take our father's names. Okay, we always take our father's names, and the woman always takes father's name. So you always lose the mother's lineage. So you know what? Why do we lose the mother's lineage? Why do we lose the mother's last name? Why do we lose that? You know, it's a fraction. It's a fracture. It's a fracture on the mother energy. It's a fracture on the archetypal energy of the mother, right? And that's what it is. and they come through the mother, but that should hold so much significance to understand in a 3D realm, but they don't like it as well. So this is one thing I want to say, is that in our world, like our surnames, they're the dads. They take it, right? Especially if they're there and that, they'll take it, right? And then what's with the mothers? They've inhabited that body, changed their whole body. Our whole body's changed, right? This woman, she just had some kids. Whole body's changed. She loves them kids, no matter what. Dad come in and out of life, not bothered, right? Bullies, right? Stuff like this. So, you can understand why that woman is not married. You can understand why that woman doesn't want to get married. It's plain as the nose on your face, right? But then you've got to understand that these people, why does society want to push away that mother archetypal energy? Why are you making that woman sign away her last name, even though I'm not bothered, I'm just saying, but I'm just giving examples. Sign away her last name, sign the kids away to him, and then effing's up. No, we're still living in old times, okay? We're in old times, old dudes that don't even realise what's going on in this realm, and then you've got to fall back through and try and figure it out again. So understanding the PsyOP, well, that's a psychological removal, okay? So you understand being married, take their last name, it's almost like you're their property. So if you marry a man, you're their property straight away. This is how I see it. I can't stand it. I don't like the idea of it. I think it's absolutely disgusting. I do not accept it. Because in abiding law, the reality is that they're going to take your take your everything. Take bloody life force standing next to them. Like, what do you want from me? Oh, just your kids. And you can have my last name, but I'll have your kids, and I'll have your house, and I'll have your whatever else you've got. That's what they wanted to do, innit? Right? But you can't do that in this era. Why? You have to make it up as you go along. This is a PsyOP understanding, okay? This is where they want you to think as a woman, right? As a female, right? That you're not good enough when you bloody are, right? Or you're not good enough on your own, are you? Well, you bloody are. So you know. It's just because society is still backtracking on the patriarchal dominating, right? And they use it as well as a gauge narrative to create conflicts within people in everyday life. This is usually an anchor point for them to gain control through that conflict. And the reason why they do this is not because that they want to fix it. They don't want to solve the problem. Oh, no, they don't want to solve the problem. No, they just want to cause trouble, like little children. Right? Just want to cause trouble like little children. And little children, they're allowed to cause a little bit of trouble here, there, and everywhere. They're kids. It's normal. They're not a full-grown adult who's sat in a bloody system. It's meant to be sitting in a higher position in a societal underpinning, doing this, acting this. It's pathetic. Children, right? Using children. I mean, what is it? A financial beneficiary gain? If it is, you're down here, mate. You ain't up there. You ain't up there. You're not for the kids. You're not for the women, right? You're not for the family unit. You're down here. What can you gain from this experience? What financial gain can you gain from emotionally destroying children, family lives? And this is the reality. This is the step back where we go, maybe something isn't right in our higher sectors, in our higher sectors. Maybe there isn't. Maybe there's something going on that's severely wrong, and they're purporting disadvantages within the system itself so they can gain financial beneficiaries. So, be careful of the PsyOPs, children. You are magnificent, right? Mummy said so.